Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of Starlink 12-15 mission launch from the Space Coast, that is from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Today it's the second attempt for the mission after yesterday's scrub. We hope you all are doing fine and excited about the upcoming SpaceX Falcon 9 launch of Starlink. Well, if this is your first time joining us, hi, my name is Dipta Maitra. I'll be your host and friend providing commentary for today's mission launch, and you are watching AstroYonder live.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around.
Houston, we see a nominal MECO. Welcome to space.
We are super excited bringing you the coverage of SpaceX's 488th overall launch and the 60th Falcon 9 launch of this year. With just 13 more launches to go, SpaceX is throttling up towards their 500th launch, a major milestone in the making. Now, just a reminder, today's launch is for Starlink direct-to-cell satellites after a brief pause of exact 3 weeks. Now, the last Starlink mission launch was the Starlink Group 12-23 back on April 27th of 2025 from here at Cape Canaveral. We are currently standing by for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:19 hours UTC from Florida, heading on a southeast trajectory. Please excuse me. So we are currently standing by for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:19 hours UTC from Florida, heading on a southeast trajectory for Starlink Group 12-15 mission, carrying a batch of 23 satellites, including 13 direct-to-cell satellites to a low Earth orbit. Now, before we fire up the mission details, we want to thank each one of you for being here with us today on behalf of AstroYonder team and our awesome moderators. We are truly fueled up by your presence and support. That's a trust. Heartfelt thanks to our amazing YouTube community for the perpetual encouragement, and a big thanks for helping us bring you detailed launch coverages loaded with all the stats and in-depth insights. We are grateful to have you on board as we count down to the liftoff together. Now, would really appreciate it if you guys could join the chat and let us know from where you are joining from. Feel free to share any questions, suggestions, or opinion with us. Don't be hesitant or shy. Just bring them on, and we would love to hear from you guys. Now, once again, like every day, just a reminder, it's just me only managing the launch coverages on my own. So if by chance we face any technical issues, kindly hang tight and bear with me. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. I will do my best to guide you through the upcoming Falcon 9 rocket launch happening in approximately 37 minutes from now. SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time for Falcon 9 today from Cape Canaveral in Florida at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, May 20th of 2025. Unusually, we have another short launch window today again, just 4 minutes, extending until 11:23 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:23. The liftoff time has been pushed back by 1 minute, while the end of the launch window has been moved up by 3 minutes. The previously stated liftoff time, and or you can say the schedule, and that time after the scrub, I'm meaning, we were having 8 minutes of launch window, but after this adjustment, as I mentioned before, we are just having 4 minutes of the launch window for today's launch. Yesterday's launch window also was also short at only 17 minutes, so today's one is even shorter. A Falcon 9 experienced an auto abort just before T0 around T minus 2 minutes and 28 seconds during its previous launch attempt yesterday. Considering this is the booster's first flight, such a scrub is not entirely unexpected, and the hold occurred after the strong back had reclined and just before stage 1 LOX load was about to complete, suggesting a late stage anomaly. While my guess, it's completely my opinion, is that it may be related to a first stage booster issue, though many things can trigger an abort during pre-flight operations. SpaceX has not officially disclosed the exact cause of the scrub for yesterday's launch. Now let's get into the mission details. According to 45th Weather Squadron officials, again today's weather for the launch looks quite promising and a fair weather is expected. Reports published by the 45th Weather Squadron official shows that there's a 95% chances of favorable weather conditions at the time of launch, with only 5% launch weather constraint violations related to cumulus cloud rule only. It's just similar like yesterday. Otherwise, it's a 95% go for today's launch. The forecast calls for a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, a few clouds with 19% cloud cover, and a wind speed of 17 miles per hour. Although we discussed everything yesterday, but it's for those who are joining us new today. So let's take a look at the payload details for Starlink Group 12-15 mission. Now, before discussing about the payload, just a reminder, today's payload does not consist of any newer optimized Starlink version 2 mini satellites. These are the regular and the basic version 2 minis variant of the Starlink satellites. Today's launch is the 43rd dedicated Starlink mission of the year. Starlink satellites built in Redmond, Washington. Today's payload consists of 23 Starlink version 2 mini satellites, including 13 direct-to-cell satellites. Before this launch, SpaceX has already sent up 1,018 Starlink satellites in 2025 alone, surpassing the 1,000 mark. That's an incredible achievement they made. And with this launch, the count jumps to 1,041. And if we look into if we include the 14 version 3 variant of the Starlink launched on previous two Starship flights, those simulators which got launched on Starship Flight 7 and 8, the count rises more with a total of 1,055 Starlinks launched this year. That's really a remarkable pace. Now, each of these version 2 mini satellites comes with 5 Ku band phased array antennas, 3 dual band parabolic antennas utilizing Ka and E band, and a 100-foot wide solar array split into two aeroneutral wings for agile space maneuvers. They are also equipped with high capacity batteries to power everything on board. Each Starlink satellite features three space laser transponders, also known as optical intersatellite links, or ISL in short, for communicating with space lasers, moving data at speeds up to 200 Gbps. For maneuvering in space, these satellites use Hall effect thrusters powered by argon, which was previously based on krypton, and the switch was basically due to the cost effectiveness which argon provides compared to krypton. Today's payload will be deployed in an orbit with an altitude of approximately 284 kilometers with an inclination of 43 degrees. But the operational orbit will be an altitude of about 560 kilometers with the same inclination of 43 degrees. Each of these version 2 mini satellite weighs approximately 1763 pounds, equivalent to 800 kilograms. Now here's just for the context. Each of the optimized version of the Starlink satellite weighs around 1268 pounds or 575 kilograms, which is about 22% lighter than the original version 2 mini design. So that makes a huge difference when we consider the overall batch of its Starlink getting launched. And that's why we are seeing a increase in the number of satellites, Starlink satellites being launched in nowadays with this optimized version. Starlink satellite uses custom-built star tracker to find their position, altitude, and orientation for optimal broadband throughput, and each one has 4 reaction wheels for precise attitude control, or the orientation control you can say, plus a hot spare setup for the reliability. Their aluminum flywheel is designed to safely burn up at the end of their useful life upon re-entry. Additionally, they have an autonomous collision avoidance system that uses US Department of Defense debris tracking database for avoiding collisions with space junks, other spacecrafts, and other Starlink satellites autonomously. Now, once again, just to understand the significance of the autonomous collision avoidance system, here's a quick context. According to a SpaceX report published last year, Starlink satellite performs 275 collision avoidance maneuvers each day, and in that course of past 6 months when this report got published, Starlink satellite performed 50,000 collision avoidance maneuvers. So I guess that these figures can make you sense the importance of an autonomous collision avoidance system. Now, some quick fun facts. As we know, the first version 2 mini satellite launch back on February 25th of 2024 last year on group 6-39 from here only, Cape Canaveral. It was carrying a batch of 24 version 2 minis, the most ever back then. On January 21st of this year, 2025, with group 11-8, SpaceX launched 27 optimized version 2 mini satellites for the first time, breaking the previous count record of 24. Then just after around over a period of 2 months, on March 31st, 2025, with group 6-80, they launched 28 optimized version 2 minis for the first time, this time surpassing the previous high of 27. Now, interestingly, with the recent May 4, 2025 Starlink launch of Group 6-84, SpaceX broke its own record again by launching 29 version 2 mini satellites, beating the previous max of 28. Now, as of now, that was the biggest batch yet for the version 2 mini variant. While in comparison, the highest for version 1 of Starlink is 60 satellites, and for version 1.5, it's 56. Now, before today's launch, SpaceX launched 18 times of its optimized version 2 mini variants, bringing the total to 493 number of satellites. Once again, just to clarify, today's payload does not consist any upgraded optimized Starlink version 2 minis on board. This batch features the regular baseline version 2 mini satellites. Speaking of SpaceX's direct-to-cell technology, which got developed by Starlink team, in easy words, it's like having a cell phone tower in space, and this technology allows your cell phone to connect directly to satellites. In a scenario where we are in a remote area where there is no cell tower nearby, normally in that case we would not get any signal on our phone. But with direct to cell, our phone can get a signal directly from a Starlink satellite overhead. You don't need to make any changes to your existing LTE phone. It's designed to work with common LTE standards with absolute no changes to hardware, firmware, or special apps required. Whether you are on land, lakes, coastal waters, or even in the air, as long as you can see the sky, you can get a signal. Now let's take a look at the flight record for the booster supporting today's Starlink 12-15 mission. The booster with tail number 1095, a newcomer supporting today's mission, making its debut flight. This is the first mission for a booster with tail number 1095 as it hasn't flown any previous mission. Being its first flight, the booster turnaround time is not relevant today and currently awaiting its first mission just 23 minutes away from now. Now a quick sum up. This is the booster's first flight from Space Launch Complex 40. First time supporting a Starlink mission and its first drone ship landing, which happens to be on just read the instructions. Now let's have a look at the bar graph showing number of Falcon 9 launches each year. Before this upcoming launch, SpaceX completed its 59th Falcon 9 launch for this year with the Starlink 15-5 mission launch from Vandenberg on May 16th of 2025. That makes them to leave behind the number of annual launches made till year 2021, and SpaceX is now having 28 more launches made in 2021. With today's launch of Starlink 12-15 mission, the bar graph shows 60 number of Falcon 9 launches for 2025. As of now, SpaceX is yet to reach even the half of the launches made last year, but SpaceX is now less than the halfway to reach the number of launches made in year 2022 and 2023 respectively. And with today's launch, SpaceX trails 2022 launches made in 2022 by just one launch and 36 short of 2023. We know SpaceX completed Please excuse me. We know SpaceX completed 132 Falcon 9 launches last year, marking its highest annual launch count to date. That is 134 launches in total, including 2 Falcon Heavy missions. Now again, aiming for another record-breaking year with around 180 Falcon 9 launches just itself. Apart from any upcoming Falcon Heavy launches, surpassing the last year's highest launch count. That's an ambitious target hinted by a previous tweet by Elon. Let's hope they will pull it off. Now, if this stream fuels your love for space, give this stream a like. It's kind of fine-tuning the trajectory of our mission to build a community with amazing space enthusiasts just like you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so that you won't miss any upcoming launches. Here at AstroYonder, we believe together we will build the ultimate constellation of space enthusiasts, and we would be super grateful for your support. As of now, SpaceX is sticking with the liftoff time for today, so no alteration being made in the liftoff time. That's a nice thing. Now, like every Starlink stream we are covering, I'm going to skip the pre-launch timeline since it's a typical Falcon 9 launch for Starlink with no alteration or deviation in any of the pre-launch events. However, there's only one point that I must be highlighting just for your quick knowledge, and which you might be already knowing, that the strong back reclining process at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center differs from that at Vandenberg. Here at Cape Canaveral and Kennedy Space Center, we recline the strong back about 1.5 degrees, whereas at Vandenberg, we recline the strong back about 13 degrees away from the Falcon 9. So that's the only thing which is different in today's pre-launch schedule, as this is a Cape Canaveral flight. Once again, just a reminder, SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral in Florida at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, May 20th of 2025. So we are just now 11 minutes away from the webcast to begin. I guess there will be also an adjustment with the webcast to start from SpaceX's end with only 1 minute of delay. So now let's go ahead and briefly step through the trajectory for today's Starlink mission. Falcon 9 leaving the pad from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station with a batch of 23 Starlink satellites for a southeast trajectory heading into low Earth orbit. That is to the 12th shell of second generation Starlink mega constellation indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line indicates where Falcon 9's first stage will land after stage separation, just a little later leaving Florida's Space Coast. Today's mission is being supported by Just Read the Instructions drone ship, one of the two here on the East Coast. Which means the first stage booster with tail number 1095, flying for its first time, will be heading out to the drone ship for its landing. This will going to be the 119th landing on Just Read the Instructions drone ship to date if successful. And here are some recovery specifics for you. The planned booster recovery is approximately 595 kilometers with estimated fairing recovery approximately 626 kilometers downrange. And the Stage 2 debris reentry will be in the South Atlantic or Indian Ocean on its second orbit. Now, here are some of the stats related to drone ship on your screen right now. We are anticipating the addition of a fourth drone ship as promised by SpaceX earlier, possibly occurring late this year or maybe in early next year, because as of now we are not getting any information regarding that. But SpaceX earlier promised that it was about to happen earlier this year. Now, currently there are uh, three in SpaceX's drone ship fleet. Of the three, drone ships just with the instructions and a shortfall of Gravitas are stationed here in Florida, while of course I Still Love You is stationed in California. Now, speaking of fairing recovery, the two halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther, approximately 31 kilometers downrange from where the first stage lands on just with the instructions drone ship after they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachutes. SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel to retrieve both the fairing halves from the Atlantic waters. On your screen, you can see how a fairing recovery looks like. The recovery vessel on your screen is Doug performing the recovery operations, but today it's Bob being today's supporting recovery vessel, one of the three here at the East Coast. Other recovery vessels, Doug and Go Cosmos, here at the East Coast, and Go Beyond at the West Coast, are waiting for their next assignment. As of now, I guess Go Beyond is gearing up for the next upcoming Starlink 11-16 mission. Well, let me check. It's 11-16. Yep, it's 11-16. So I guess Go Beyond will be on its track to support the mission launch from Vandenberg. Now let's get to the stats related to today's mission launch. But before that, we have a request for you. If you feel we are adding value to your viewing experience, please consider giving this stream a like as your way of boosting us past max Q, meaning passing through the maximum dynamic stress of YouTube algorithm, which helps us connect with more space enthusiasts like you. And as we are burning our midnight propellant to bring you the stream, we expect your little bit of kind support by smashing the subscribe button and turning on the bell notification. And with that, you will never miss an upcoming stream, and your support would help us a lot. Now, coming to some stats related to today's mission launch. Today's launch marks the 488th SpaceX's overall launch and the 43rd dedicated Starlink launch of this year. This is going to be the 475th Falcon 9 launch to date. First flight of this particular Falcon 9 booster supporting today's mission with tail number 1095. Today's mission marks the 60th Falcon 9 launch and SpaceX's 62nd overall launch of 2025, considering two Starship launches. Since this is the booster's maiden flight, the count stays the same, 416 Falcon booster reflights so far. That is the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 252nd orbital launch for SpaceX launching from Space Launch Complex 40 and the 307th overall orbital launch from Pad Slick 40. With the success of this mission, SpaceX will have a remarkable 8,687 Starlink satellites, including 622 dedicated direct-to-cell satellites launched to date. Prior to today's mission, the total number of direct-to-cell satellites launched was 609. Now moving on to some reusability statistics. Prior to this flight, there have been 400 Falcon 9 booster reflights to date. That number also remains unchanged as today's booster is flying for its first time. This will be the 119th landing on Just Read the Instructions drone ship. First landing of this first stage booster with tail number 1095. And with this booster's landing, SpaceX rack ups its 359th drone ship landing, 429th Falcon 9 overall landing, and the 448th landing across all boosters to date. Speaking of landing, here are some of the stats related to the drone ship landing prior to today's mission. So we request you guys to not to get confused with the number shown on your screen right now. This drone ship landing stats on your screen are excluding today's mission. These are prior to today's launch. Now let's have a look into some key stats for SpaceX launches this year, including today's mission. With today's mission, SpaceX will be having its 62nd launch of this year, and out of those, 43 are Starlink missions, including today's one. 17 were non-Starlink missions for commercial and government organizations, and 2 Starship launches. 56 of these missions using a reuse booster, but mind it, excluding today's one, as this one is going to be flying for the first time. Now SpaceX will be having 41 launches from East Coast with today's launch from Space Launch Complex 40. On West Coast, they are having 19 launches from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base. And as of now, 2 launches from Gulf Coast of Starbase in Texas with Starship's 7th and 8th test flight, and 2 Super Heavy booster catches for both of those test flights. Now, being hopeful, the NOTAMs suggest that the launch can be possible between May 22nd to 31st with 2-hour launch window, opening at 23:30 hours UTC for each day, with current assumptions supporting 27th of May for the launch of Starship's Flight 9. Also some good news that SpaceX got approval for 25 launches per year from Starbase, and Starbase is now a city geographically. Now moving on with the stats again. For landing, they will be nailing it for the 58th time this year. Most of the landings are on drone ship with 49 landings. And for ground landings, they pulled off 9 of them. Now prior to today's launch, 123 successful launches being made since last mission failure with Starlink 9-3. 33 successful landings since last landing failure with Starlink 12-20. Booster with tail number 1067 having highest number of flights and successful landings, that is 28 times. 336 missions with at least one reused fairing, and approximately 640 number of fairing halves were reused prior to today's launch. On your screen is a pie chart showing 2025 orbital launches, including today's one. With this 110th orbital launch attempt for the year, United States is leading with 70 launches, followed by China with 29 launches, Russia with 5 launches, one launch by Japan, India with 2, and Europe with 3 launches. Australia is about to debut the launch for its Iris rocket, which got scrubbed for initial attempt for some fairing half issues. One of our moderator is also from Australia, and hope can get some views of the launch. And worth mentioning, there have been 4 failed orbital launch attempts so far this year. Now, this pie chart shows 2025 orbital launches by rocket variations, including today's launch. While you check out the pie chart, let me see if the stream is rolling or not. And as it's time for the webcast to begin, well, meanwhile, would like to welcome Fairmaid for joining us. Welcome, Fairmaid. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you are doing well. I was a little bit worried that why you didn't join us yesterday, but I thought maybe you are busy doing things. So yes, the stream is up right now. So let me set things up for you guys. Well, it's up. There we go. So SpaceX is now playing some pre-launch tunes. I will patch in the mission audio feed once it drops. Adding value to your viewing experience is our top priority. If you felt we somewhat achieved that, please consider liking the stream.
Tanks are pressing for strong back retract.
So we are now pressurizing the tanks for strong back retract, where we are adding a little bit of gas to firm up the tank so that the clamp arms can open with a solid structure holding the Falcon 9. Once the arms are open, we start reclining the strong back about 1.5 degrees away from the Falcon 9, since it's a West Coast flight.
Strong back retract.
So there we go. We got the call out for a strong back retract process to initiate. Please excuse me. Well, Femin, nothing, no worries. I understood that. Of course, you would have been busy with something else. With you, I have complete faith, belief that you will be there at least coming. So no worries. And at least you came today. So thanks for that. And for the last time, you couldn't make it. But still, you came to say hi to us. So see, you are a good one. You are doing your moderator duties like all what can I say, emotionally. So, and also don't forget to mention the apogee. So right now we are reclining the strong back. And meanwhile, a couple of important steps were completed. The spacecraft team switched to internal power a few minutes ago, and fueling of the Falcon 9 first stage is now finished, meaning all the RP-1 prop is now on board. We are still loading the liquid oxygen on both the first and second stages, and we'll be listening in a couple of seconds for the LOX load completion for both the stages.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
There we go. We got the call out for stage 1 LOX load completion right on time. We are now waiting for the second stage LOX load completion that will finish up at just inside approximately T minus 2 minutes mark. Where medio this line, I will be here when I can. It makes me a little fearful. I said last time, please change the way you are saying. It makes me really having many bad thoughts. Please don't mind me, but it makes me like I'm taking it in another way. I can't help it. So we are currently waiting for a stage.
LOX load is complete.
There we go. That I was going to say. Now the stage 2 LOX load is complete. That indicates that all the propellants are now on board the Falcon 9 with complete 1 million pounds of propellant. We are now beginning to vent down the pressure that was remaining in the tubing on the strong back. If we will get a far view, you can see those clouds coming out there for that reason. Next, expecting the there we go. So that I was going to say again that we were expecting the call out for ground gas close-up. Here we bleed the extra pressure off, and that cold gas, when it reacts with the moist, humid Atlantic air, gives us this nice white cloud, which is an healthy indicator of launch coming up. Next event, T-minus 1 minute, we should hear the call out that Falcon 9 flight computers are in startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
So, right on time, Falcon 9 flight computers on both the stages are running the rocket to the last minute of count. Let's listen to the go call out.
The launch director is go for launch.
SpaceX launch director giving go for the launch. We are coming up approximately T minus 33 seconds. All system continues to remain go for the launch of Falcon 9 and Starlink. So let's sit back and enjoy the launch. And don't forget to keep your fingers crossed. It's the first launch of the booster. Yesterday we had a scrub.
15 seconds. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink. Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We have a successful liftoff. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower, providing us some magnificent views, looking like a fireball getting up in the sky. We are 37 seconds into the flight. Stage 1 engine chamber pressure is nominal as of now. Falcon 9 is on its way with 23 Starlinks into low Earth orbit. We got some good call out. Power and telemetry is nominal. We are now throttling down the 9 Merlin engines as we prepare for the period of maximum dynamic stress coming up. And we got the call out for the vehicle being supersonic means that we exceeded Mach 1 on Falcon 9.
Max Q.
There we go, max Q call out. That means we are through the period of maximum stress on the vehicle right now. And at this time, we have throttled the 9 Merlin engines back up to full power. Next, expecting the call out for MVAC engine chill.
MVAC chill.
Right on time. So now we are starting to chill down the MVAC engine on the second stage prior to its ignition just after stage separation. Coming up, 3 events in rapid sequence. The shutdown of main engine on first stage, that is main engine cutoff, also known as MECO, followed by stage separation and the ignition of the second stage MVAC engine. That event is known as SES1, which will boost the payload into low Earth orbit. So let's sit back and hear those callouts while watching this cool view from the first stage as those Merlin 9 1D engines are on its full capacity.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. IMVAC ignition.
So we just got the confirmation callouts for all the back-to-back milestone. Next, expecting the confirmation callout for fairing separation. And on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the grid fins getting deployed, being commanded by the flight computers right now, just after the successful stage separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There we go, a successful fairing separation. Although today again it's a nighttime launch, so we won't be getting those cool views which we get during a daytime launch. So no worries, but we will be getting some amazing views during the landing of the first stage. And meanwhile, we can cherish the view of the second stage and back engine. Right now, the Falcon 9's first stage is.
Vehicles are on a nominal trajectory.
So there we go. We got some good healthy callouts for both the vehicle for the first and second stage, which are following a nominal trajectory. Now the first stage is under the force of gravity and steering with the help of grid fins. As it descends, it will continue to rise towards the apogee before descending back towards the landing on drone ship, just with the instructions stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. And to have a confirmation from our moderator Faymaid, the apogee, it seems to me that 114 kilometers, I guess. I guess, yep, it was, I think, 114. Right now, second stage is in middle of its 6-minute burn, is on its way into the parking orbit with 23 Starlink satellites payload on board. So there's a confirmation from our moderator that the apogee was 114 kilometers for the first stage before descending back towards its landing site. Now, as we track another Falcon flight right now, let us know your prediction for the month when SpaceX will reach its 500th mission launch. We would be thrilled to hear your countdown call on that. And about today's launch, so far the launch has been smooth and excellent. The first stage has done its job on its first flight. It's on its way back. Second stage is running at full power. Now we are getting ready for the first stage to return to the drone ship landing site.
Continue to follow a nominal trajectory.
Again, some good callouts, nominal trajectories for both the vehicles. Now just a heads up when we will be hearing stage. There we go. We got the call out. Next up, we got the call out for stage 1 FTS being saved, and we got the call out for stage 1 entry burn startup. Here we lit 3 of those 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage, and we are rapidly slowing down the vehicle, as you can see from the left hand side, bottom left hand side of your screen from the telemetry. And this burn lasts just around 24 seconds. We got the confirmation for stage 1 entry burn shutdown as well.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Stage 2 FTS being saved means orbital insertion burn is complete for the second stage with payload on board. Now we are expecting the call out for stage 1 being transonic. Oh well, it came back. I guess we are having some issues with the Falcon 9's first stage view from the onboard camera.
Stage 1 transonic.
So we just heard the call out. Stage 1 is now traveling slower than the speed of sound as it heads towards landing. Now it's being transonic. Speaking of landing, we are just less than 40 seconds maybe from that. Expecting the next call out for stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Right on time. So here we can see the center E9 engine now lit. With that, we are slowing down the vehicle furthermore.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Very rapidly. Should be seeing those landing legs deploy any seconds now.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Stage 1 landing legs deployed.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And there's the confirmation. We have successfully made the 429th landing of an orbital class Falcon 9 rocket, and this one is the first one for this booster supporting today's mission. Coming up next, we will have the second stage engine cutoff, that is SICO 1, and following that event, the second stage will, with the payload on board, will enter into nearly 45 minutes of coast phase as the vehicle ascends to its target orbit for the payload deployment. And we got the call out for MVAC shutdown, SICO 1. Although we didn't hear the nominal orbit insertion call out, rest assured that it occurred as expected. So these were the call outs we were waiting for. Now today's launch marks SpaceX's 488th successful mission, with the landing marking their 448th success. That also marked the first successful landing of the booster supporting today's mission. So with that, we will wrap up our coverage for now. But before that, want to thank you for wherever you are watching our live launch coverage. It's next to impossible to do this broadcast without your encouragement. So thank you for your continued support for what we do here at AstroYonder. Also would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to our moderator Fairmate for tuning in. We'll see you next time, Fairmate. Please take care of yourself and let's see as soon as we can have a next stream. Hope to see you that time. We appreciate everyone joining us for today's launch. Wishing you a nice week ahead. Be sure to check out our social media handle on X for the latest happenings in the space industry and updates on upcoming launches. Hope you enjoyed the stream today after yesterday's scrub. Once again, thanks for watching. This is AstroYonder Live and me Dipta sign off for now, and we will see you next time.